So thanks everybody for joining in today for another Acts of Connection. This week we're doing a new one, but something that's going to be hopefully an ongoing series as part of Acts of Connection, which is Ethical Eats. Ethical Eats. Try saying that fast 5 times, it's impossible. So we'll be using Ethical Eats as an opportunity to share recipes and fantastic ideas around, mostly plant-based. And I wouldn't call this one a healthy one, but we'll probably have some healthy options on the go as well. But of course, vegan truffles today. And we're going to have the lovely Midge taking us through her recipe that she's been using. She was telling me, you can give me a bit of story about how long you've been making these truffles for. But for anybody that doesn't know, Midge is the mum of Raveena, who's hiding off camera. I don't know if she's going to stick an arm in to wave hello. So Raveena manages the Green Impact program at the University of Melbourne. So I just want to thank Midge so much for giving us her time and sharing her recipe with us today. I'm really looking forward to seeing how you make these lovely treats. So we did give the recipe out ahead of time. So if anybody does have the ingredients and is going to be following along at home, I see Amelia's in her kitchen ready to go. Feel free to do that. If you want to ask questions at any point, please, you can either type in the chat bar and I can read it out for you, or if you want to unmute your microphone to ask a question, please do so. But I won't talk anymore. I'm going to hand over to Midge to start taking you through her recipe, and I hope everybody enjoys. Thank you. Over to you, Midge.
Hi, I'm Midge. I'm Raveena's mum. Hi everyone, and thanks so much, Ray, for having me on today on Acts of Connection. I'm so happy to be sharing with you my dark chocolate vegan truffles. I know that everyone's got the recipe, and this is a recipe that I've kind of like perfected over time. Ever since Raveena was living at school, I've been making this for years. So I really enjoy making them, and they're super tasty. So yeah, if you'd like to follow along with the recipe, I'll just start. Okay, so for the ingredients, you need 1 packet of vegan biscuits. You need 2 tablespoons of almond meal. And now this is like not mandatory. If you have nut allergies, you don't have to include this in the recipe. This is just to make it a tad healthier. Okay, so then you've also got your shredded coconut and your cocoa. And now we have our dark chocolate. So to begin, what we need to do is melt the dark chocolate. And also what I do is I've got a pot on the stove with some water in it. Then I place the dark chocolate in a white bowl and put it in the water. So I find that's the best way to melt the chocolate rather than microwave it, because that has a tendency to burn it. So I'll just start doing that now. Okay, so go over to the stove. And just on a low heat, heat the water, and then place the bowl in the pan. Okay.
Midge, if you were going to try it in the microwave for us people that are a little bit lazy, do you have any suggestions for, like, just do it for a few minutes and, not minutes, but like 10 seconds and then stir, and then 10 seconds and stir, or don't even go near the microwave?
Well, you're absolutely right, Ree. So if you can sort of manage it, every 10 seconds, stir it so that it doesn't burn. Yeah, that's cool too. Totally. Yeah. Okay, there's probably a faster way to do it. All right. So just go over to the stove. And so because we'll be using raw sugar to add into the mixture, because raw sugar again is healthier than white sugar, but because it's like the larger sort of granules, it's best to mix in the sugar with the chocolate, so it kind of just like melts in, rather than just putting it into the actual mixture, because then you can really feel the crunch of the sugar. So whilst that's melting, I'll take over the sugar. And so, as according to the recipe, then you put in 1/3 of a cup. Okay, so while it's continuing to melt, what you could do is start the process of crushing the biscuits. So that's the next step. So you grab your packet of vegan biscuits, and so there's a number of ways you can crush the biscuits. What I like to do is use a good old rolling pin on a chopping board, and then put about 4 biscuits on the chopping board, and crush it with the rolling pin. So what I find when I do it this way is that you have your larger pieces of biscuit as well as like the fine sort of crumb. So it just gives a really nice texture in the actual truffle ball. But if you want to do it in a sort of a fast way, you're more than welcome to use like the NutriBullet or a food processor to crush those biscuits. So here you go. I usually get Rav to help me with this because there's a bit of muscle power.
I would definitely be throwing these in the NutriBullet, but like, I've already proven myself to be a lazy cook.
I know exactly what Rav would do too. It's just so much fun.
I think it definitely adds to it having those chunks. Like I love the chunks in there.
Yeah, that's so true, Amelia. So like as you can see in the mixture, I don't know if you can see, but you've got your larger pieces of biscuit as well as the sort of the finer crumbs. So once you've done that, then you can start putting it into a large bowl because that's where all the ingredients will go. And I can just hear the chocolate sort of bubbling away in the background, so I'll just go and tend to that.
You following okay, Amelia? I think you're the only one that's got your home kitchen.
Yep, no, I'm following very carefully because I've eaten these many times before when Rab's brought them into the office and they are delicious. I'm happy to be able to make them myself now.
So the chocolate's almost melted, so I'll just continue crushing the biscuits.
Do you know any other brands of vegan biscuits that you could use?
I actually do. So like Arnott's actually happen to be accidentally vegan, so they're the nice biscuits. But Rena, just on my phone, I took a photo. There is another brand that you can buy at Safeway or at Coles, and they're sugar-free, and they've got more of a wheaty taste. So the name of it, I often use these too. They're digestive biscuits. The brand is called Gullen Sugar-Free. I don't know if you can see that. And they're really good too. And they give sort of a wheat, and they're probably healthier than the nice biscuits. So that's another version. I'll just check on the chocolate.
Is it just the sugar-free digestives that are accidentally vegan? Because or is it all of them? Do you know?
Actually, I'm not 100% sure, Ree. But
That's okay.
yeah, I think they do a couple of other brands, and they may be vegan too. I'm not sure, but I do know that this one, the digestives are
I tried
in
to
that
look it
brand.
up, Ree, and I think that brand of Blue Packet are the only vegan digestive biscuits, and then Arnott's is the accidentally vegan biscuits. I think the other ones that come in like the red packets aren't vegan.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, those. Yeah.
I love with these one you can actually see the sugar. Oh, it's great.
You have to counter the next ethical eats with like a healthy recipe.
Okay, so there's the biscuits in the bowl. I think the chocolate's almost melted. Yes, it has. So we have to allow the chocolate to cool a bit. So then what we do is just take it off the stove or take it out of the microwave and just let it rest a while. And in the meantime, just continue with putting the other ingredients through. So what I'll do is I'll just crush another few biscuits.
We could almost do an ASMR, is that what they call it? With the crinkly rabbits, crinkly packets that come through on the speakers.
Yeah. So, okay, so there's your crushed biscuits. I'll just put the chopping board aside. And so now we can put the other ingredients and mix through with this mixture. So we've got the cocoa, so we'll just whack that in. Got the shredded coconut, so we'll place that in too. And then there's the almond meal. So again, that's optional. You can also have hazelnut meal. This just tends to make it a little healthier, and you don't feel so bad about eating so much sugar.
Midge, can you use almond flour? I was going through my pantry before to see if I had the ingredients on hand, and I only had almond flour. Is that completely different to almond meal?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So I guess that's used more for baking. So the almond meal will actually give you that almond taste, and so then you can eat it raw, because once this is all combined and then mixed in with the chocolate, so then it's just pretty much ready to eat.
Okay, I'm glad I didn't try and make it with almond flour.
You're so cute, Rin. So we've got all the ingredients in the bowl. So now we just mix it through nicely. And now you can see for yourself the cocoa. I mean, if you like chocolate truffle balls to be a little less dark, then that's the right amount of cocoa. But if you like to make it a richer, darker truffle ball, which is what we tend to do, then just add more cocoa powder. Just put it in.
In my family, we didn't make truffles, we made rum balls, and my grandma was like did the same thing you did with the cocoa, but with the rum.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I remember because I love anything to do with chocolate, and when I was younger I actually tasted a rum ball, and yeah, that's got quite a distinctive taste. But yeah, this is probably a non-alcoholic version. So on the side now, the chocolate mixture, the sugar's been melted through nicely and it's starting to cool down. So this is where you can start to combine it into the crumb mixture. So we just scoop it in, and so. And try and get all the yummy chocolate out. Okay, so once you've done that, then mix it through the mixture. And you can see it starts to like clump together really nicely. Okay, so you can use a spoon to actually mix the mixture, but this is where I like to get my hands involved, because then you're sort of sure that every bit of chocolate, biscuit mixture is coated with the chocolate. But before I get my hands messy, I do need to grab the almond milk from the fridge, so just bear with me.
Rab, this is where you should have come in and been doing like...
Yes. I'm gonna be my little assistant. So in the recipe, I've put almond, coconut, soy or oat milk. So you're most welcome to use any vegan milk at all. It'll give the same flavour. So, okay. So now we're going to combine the mixture really nicely, because this is where the chocolate balls all come together. And so once it's combined really nicely, this is where you've got to use your own judgment as to how much milk you put in, because we have to be careful not to make the mixture too soggy, but you do want enough moisture so that the balls hold together. Kitty cat. Okay, so just with the feel of your own hands, you can sort of tell, you know, if it's clumping together or if it's not. And depending on that, that's how much milk you put in. So just put in a little bit at a time and then work it through.
Do you have any recommendations? Like what ingredient would you add if you went too far on the milk?
Then I'd probably have a spare packet of biscuits, and so add in some more biscuits or the shredded coconut. Yeah, that's a really good point, Reed, because once I did that and it was too soggy, and so that's exactly what I did. Just add some more dry ingredients, and then that will help.
Don't add more chocolate.
Yeah. Okay, so now you can sort of see that the mixture is actually clumping together. So we kind of know that the balls will hold once we roll them. But I'm just kind of sensing that I see a little bit more. Okay. And probably a tad more. So this just takes a little bit of time, just getting it all mixed in really nicely. And now I can sort of feel that it's really clumping together and ready to be rolled into balls. So the next process is where you're going to actually roll it into balls and then roll it in the coconut. So it's good to have some clean hands. So I'm just going to wash my hands.
Still keeping up, Amelia?
Yeah, I just had a little taste and it tastes delicious.
Oh, actually, Amelia, that's a really, really good point. So when it's in this dry mixture still, what you can do, that's actually, thank you so much for reminding me, you can, grab a little bit, the spoon or with your fingers, and then do a taste test. And if you feel like it needs any more, sort of more sugar, or if you want to add a bit of more coconut, you're more than welcome to do so before you do the actual balls. And I'm just kind of thinking it just needs a little bit more milk, so just bear with me.
This is the major downside to the virtual cooking show is I don't get to taste.
I know, it's so sad, isn't it? Like, you wish like technology could be that good, you can just pass it through the computer screen. And a little bit more.
I don't know if my dog's snoring is coming through. I'm going to mute myself because it's very loud.
So how are you going, Amelia? What stage are you up to?
I am just getting ready to roll them in the coconut. So I'm just going to try, because I had all the ingredients here, except I was lacking dark chocolate. So I used a mixture of like dark chocolate cooking little buttons, milk chocolate buttons. So I had to add extra cocoa to make it a bit more,
more chocolate,
bit richer. I'm very excited.
Excellent. Ready? Okay. So now the next step is you just grab a plate and you've got your desiccated coconut. So I've chosen the fine desiccated coconut. You're also welcome to use the shredded coconut. That gives a nice look as well.
Yeah, that's the one I have.
Okay. And just put the coconut on a plate, just like a small amount. And now with the chocolate truffle mixture, just grab like a small amount and sort of press it together with your hands and then roll it in the palm of your hands. So that gives it more of an even texture into a ball. So with the size of the chocolate truffle balls, that's totally up to you. You can do them really small or a bit larger. But I think just like the average size, I guess the diameter would be about like a 20-cent coin. So it's kind of like that. And what you can do is make a few before you actually roll it in the coconut. So now the mixture is combining really, really nicely. It's not too wet and it's not too dry. And so it's all going to hold well. So we get another little bit of mixture. And then again, roll. Okay, so now this is where it comes to the pretty part of rolling it in the coconut. So then you can also sprinkle it on top. And then you've got your chocolate truffle ball. So then you do it with the others.
I feel like it looks like your coconut's sticking, like mine kind of, I want more coconut on it. Should I wet the mixture more?
Possibly, Amelia. Could you bring it to the screen again? I'll just have a look if I can.
Like it's a bit patchy.
Oh, yeah, no, that's good. You know, with that shredded coconut, that's what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, when it's the desiccated coconut, then a lot more sticks.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but that's exactly what would happen with the longer sort of strands.
Okay, I'll remember that.
Okay, so you just continue the process until all the chocolate truffle mixture is finished. And I probably won't go through all of them because it will take a while, but that's what they essentially look like. And then what I do after that is pop them in the fridge, because once you put it in the fridge, it'll just help sort of harden the chocolate truffle ball because of the melted chocolate and into the biscuit. And so if once it's in the fridge for half an hour, that'll help that process. And then you can bring them out and just keep it at room temperature. If it's like really warm weather, then it's best to keep it in the fridge. But otherwise, during winter, it's just nice to just keep it at room temperature. If you like the chocolate truffle ball to be really firm, then keep them in the fridge. But if you like it a little softer, then you just keep it at room temperature. And so I made some earlier.
Yes, we get to see the ones I prepared earlier, Mermaid.
So that's essentially what they look like.
Beautiful.
And so yummy to eat. So it's really, really easy to make. Yeah, and also I'm going to give you some top tips. So these are the traditional truffle balls where you coat it with the coconut, but you can also roll it in cocoa. So you've got a different style of appearance. You can also roll it in almond meal or hazelnut meal or any kind of crushed nut, and that'll just give a different sort of appearance, and it looks really pretty. But yeah, so that's my chocolate truffle recipe.
Amazing. They look so good. I really, really want to eat one right now. Have to pop some in the mail for me. Amelia, how are yours traveling?
Really? I might actually try one now. I don't know if we put them in the fridge, but.
Grace, you want to try one? Sure. Yeah.
That's so good. I used to make them with condensed milk.
Oh, yeah.
They're very heavy, but they're really, really good.
That's really good. Yeah, before we used to, before we used to do it with cream, but then because we wanted to use more sort of products with just being vegan, so then we thought, how can we substitute it? And then that's where I've sort of just been, chopping and changing over the years. Because all during the school years I did it with cream, but then I just sort of realised that you actually don't need those products, any dairy products. And if you have enough chocolate, that will hold the chocolate truffle ball together. And then the almond milk or soy, coconut, oat, it's just perfect. As long as you just put the right amounts. But yeah, just trial and error, and I'm sure everyone will get it perfectly.
And there's a cacao one.
Oh wow, that's
I'll take a
awesome.
few of those.
That's brilliant. And so
Delicious.
I'll just cut through one so that you can know what it looks like. So there you can see you've got your larger pieces of biscuit as well as the finer. So when you eat it, it just enhances the whole eating process.
I think these are amazing things to do up if you want to give somebody a gift. You know, we're trying to think about more conscious consumerism and gift giving, especially around like Christmas period. I think these are a fantastic thing that you can whip up a bunch of them at home and put them in a lovely like beeswax wrap or something, and you've got a super easy and low impact gift. So thank you for sharing. I'll be making some for my mum, my vegan mum, who's very happy I've learned a new recipe. So thank you so much for your time and taking us through. We've got some comments coming through on the chat, so I hope you can get the opportunity to read those. Does anybody have any last questions from Midge before we wrap up the session today? Just give a last minute. And Amelia, you'll be there rolling for a little while.
Really done so well.
This will be my lunch, I think, now.
Like Raveena. Oh, that's so cool.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again. Really appreciate it. And I hope we get to see you again in another Ethical Eats Acts of Connection as we go along.
Well, that's so sweet. Thanks so much, Ray. And
Thank
I think
you.
the gift idea is it's a brilliant idea. Like if you just wrap it up in some cellophane or some ethical sort of, products, yeah, it's brilliant to give it as a gift.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, we'll wrap up there. So for everybody that's joined in on the live session, I'll circulate the Midge's recipe again, so you've got it firsthand and some instructions to follow on what she's done. We'll also make this video available as a resource through our Green Impact Resource Bank as well. You're welcome to join us next week for Acts of Connection. We're doing speed networking, so a really good opportunity to actually get in and meet some people participating in Green Impact. So we've got 10 universities that have current active programs at the moment, so we're really encouraging as many people from those unis to join in the session and just meet some other amazing people and hopefully get some inspiration and ideas on what you can do for your Green Impact actions this year. So that's it from me. I hope everybody has a lovely day. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.